Good evening and welcome everybody to the Heavy Metal Noise channel. I am your host, the Heavy Metal One himself, and welcome to the Elantra office on this gloomy, cold, half snowy day in Utah, the West Desert. Wednesday, January 27th. About quarter after 5 p.m. What a wild day, huh? What do you say we talk about a few things? Throw me some comments. Like the channel if you would. Subscribe. I am sandboxed in this little area of what I do talk about. Mixing the combination of wealth preservation and real news, progressive news, and things that you don't normally will hear about on the lamestream media. So how about we dig into it? Silver kind of going in a flat line, sideways line, if you will. Still in the 25-ish, 25 and a half. I saw it get down to around 25.34 today. It goes up and down. It's kind of like a speed bump in the mid 25s. So there's not a whole lot of action. It's down a tiny bit, 0.0 percentiles. Same with gold. I think it was down by about $8 earlier. But metal's not a whole lot to talk about. In the scheme of things, it is very much still on sale. These are really good prices before the takeoff. I highly advise. For a short disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor. I merely am sharing with you my strategies and to try and spread the knowledge of what is going on around us. So, with that being said, it is entertainment value and speculative. So let's get into it again here. On the hedge today, with many Americans, and not only just Americans, but the story is particularly focusing on Americans. Higher number of the percentile of Americans going into poverty with the wealth inequality, the manipulation in the markets, and just corruption that is going on between governments and corporations. And yeah, that cicadas are in the eastern United States are due to come out for the first time in 17 years. It is their cycle and ready to come out. And so if you don't know what a cicada is, it is a a very noisy, very large winged, muscular bug that hibernates in the ground, I guess, for about 17 years for their cycle. And when they're all done, you'll see the shells of their bodies on the trees of big, like elm trees, oak trees, things like that, in your front yards, backyards, and they're noisier than noisy can be. The big old, the loudest bzzz that you can hear. And when there's a large number of them, that's all you hear. I remember it as a younger kid. And I would hear it. Then after, so long, it would be gone and it wouldn't come back. As far as, I remember a season, a couple seasons, and then so on and so forth. I would ask, whatever happened to what was those really loud bugs that we would hear? I haven't seen them in a long time. Then it was explained to me that they have a cycle and it's a really long one, that they hibernate or sleep. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. Whatever insects do in the ground for 17 years. And so I haven't heard it since, once it was explained to me. So, okay, I'm getting off point here. What about these damn cicadas? Well, with the higher number of poverty, according to this article, that we Americans that are in food insecurity, could be turning to insects of these cicadas for a food source. And the poor are getting poor. We live in the United States, and we are literally talking about the usage of eating insects to help the impoverished, wealth inequality in the United States of America. Are you serious? I don't even know how to elaborate any more on this. If you can wrap your brains around this, wherever you are in the world, if you're listening to this, can you imagine that? I mean, I know there's some countries that use insects as a delicacy. You can find like candy covered or like chocolate covered ants, things like that. But for a source of surviving, impoverished, insecure food insecure Americans, we're maybe turning to a high source of protein insects such as the cicada. Alright. Man. But yet, we have unemployment benefits about to run out. The administration, like him, dislike him. You know, I'm gonna do my best every day I make a video, every time I make a video, I should say, to call out no matter what the party is, because I'm an independent for the most part. I'm not seeing the promises and the hopes that I was thinking was gonna come out of this administration, given it's only been a week, maybe a week or so. There's a long time to go. But when, you know, people have such high hopes of change, and it doesn't come to fruition within the first week, people tend to get a little jumpy, and I'm guilty of that too. So, gonna try and cool the jets a little bit, give it some time, but there's no reason that things like this should be happening. We need to get on this. We need to get the Americans some help. While people are going out and blowing the stimulus checks on the big screen TVs, going out to Starbucks blowing on, you know, $7 lattes, going to Walmart, supporting the Chinese goods. None of this. People are not being fiscally responsible. We got people that can't put food on the table. The homeless rate is skyrocketing. The housing is in the biggest explosion we've seen, in a bubble. The cost of homes are going through the roof. And yet, on a positive side, we got a select group of individuals in Reddit who is taking advantage and outsmarting the smart guys on Wall Street and making a whole lot of money and putting them big boys down the drain. And they're running to the government for bailouts. So, I know I digressed there a tiny bit, but I couldn't hold myself. I'm cheering for the little guys, anyone, the ordinary Joes, who just pulled a fast one on the major hedge funds and possibly put them out of business. You know, let's transfer a tiny bit of that wealth to a few select guys that was, you know, they earned it. They got on this, you know, a forum on Reddit and collectively gathered a bunch of people and put in a ton of stock on GameStop when these big multi-billion-dollar hedge funds put major shorts on it to basically run it out of competition, run it out of business, and they don't care what happened to the employees or the company. So these guys really invested in what little bit of money, 10, 20, 100, 500 shares of, you know, GameStop all at once, and other traders got wind of it, the Robin Hooders, you know, E-Trade, Ameritraders, yada yada, all those, and they got wind of, let's do this, and then they all jumped on this. This stock was $10, and it's up over $337 as of this recording. I mean, you were talking a 24-hour period. They stopped all trading today. I put money into mining stocks. I couldn't even buy any more of those today because they shut it down to try and stop this from continuing on and on and on and running the billions out of these major hedge funds and putting them out of business. So good for them. Anyways, I'm going to do my best to try and keep this around 10 minutes as usual. Guys, point is, if you got some money, not cicadas, if you got some money, food costs are going up, I understand. If you got any bit of initiative, you need to get on it today. You need to get on it yesterday. I mean, it's getting crunch time. If you got down to even cents, 50 cents, $1 extra after you go to the grocery store, put it away. Keep putting it away. Those cents add up to dollars. Those dollars add up to enough to buy some of this. It is your only preservation of wealth besides real estate, which is coming down, gold, some kind of precious form of metals, something that will preserve the wealth no matter what happens. Because this is always going to be worth something. Up, presumably highly up. The dollar, this paper stuff that we've been playing with for the last 75, 80, 90 years is going down the drain. It is projected to lose over 30% by the end of this year, the dollar. Heed the warnings. Listen. It's everywhere in front of you. These bellwethers are everywhere. We are talking about using cicadas, the insect, to help people in need of food, for God's sakes. Wake up. Get you some silver, get you some copper. If that's the best you can do, get anything to preserve some wealth. You're gonna need it. And with that, I want you all to stay positive, keep a good attitude, because that is vital when things are rough. You gotta support your family, you gotta promote a good attitude and ambitious attitude. Be a go-getter, don't sit around and be depressed. You be your own asset and do something. Because sitting around and doing nothing, you will definitely fail. Do something to put the odds in your favor when this comes tumbling down, because it will happen. And so with that, I'm going to turn on some bad company, and I'm going to celebrate the rest of this day for those, I'm going to dedicate for those guys on Reddit. Good for them. How about it, huh? Let's rock out, guys, and I want y'all to take care of yourselves. Be safe. I love every one of you. Thank you for watching. Subscribe. Hit the like button if you don't mind. It helps the channel out a ton. Blast this all over your social media. Let's get the word out if we can. So with that, I'm going to sign off in heavy metal noise. We'll check in with you really soon. Peace out.